Ahead on CBN NewsWatch, healthcare battles. See what's ahead as GOP leaders work to repeal Obamacare. Plus, budget cuts will show you what's in and what's out as President Trump unveils his budget proposal. And trouble in Europe, why experts say Brexit is just the first sign of a not-so-bright future. And thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. The House Budget Committee voted narrowly to advance the Republican health care bill. The measure is President Trump's campaign promise to repeal Obamacare. Here's Charlene Aaron.
The House voted Thursday 19-17 to advance the GOP health care bill, with Democrats unanimously voting no. President Trump promised to repeal and replace Obamacare on the campaign trail, and he praised the Republican alternative earlier this week.
It provides tax credits to people to purchase the care that is rightfully theirs.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the House leadership bill offers better opportunities for health care.
For families, this means lower costs. It means more choices. It means a more vibrant marketplace where insurance companies compete against each other for your business, not some monopoly.
But some conservative Republicans have issues with the plan, saying it doesn't go far enough in undoing Obamacare. The president is reportedly willing to tweak the bill to help reassure those conservatives. And Ryan says the president is helping to bridge the gaps among various GOP factions.
So we're working hand in glove, listening to the concerns of our members. The president of the United States is the one who's bringing people together, sitting around a table, hashing out our differences so that we can get to a consensus document.
And President Trump says, quote, "We're going to arbitrate. We're going to all get together. We're going to get something done." A senior White House official says the president is very committed and frequently reminds Republican lawmakers of their campaign promise to the American people to repeal and replace Obamacare. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is making his way through Asia. He's discussing the escalating threat from North Korea with its nuclear weapons program. He says it may be necessary to take preemptive action against North Korea if the weapons program becomes even more of a serious threat. During a news conference in Japan, he added the U.S. does not want a conflict with North Korea.
North Korea and its people need not fear the United States or their neighbors in the region who seek only to live in peace with North Korea. With this in mind, the United States calls on North Korea to abandon its nuclear and ballistic missile programs and refrain from any further provocations.
When asked about using military force against North Korea, Tillerson says all options are on the table. When it comes to spending your tax dollars, Congress gets the last say. But President Donald Trump's first budget proposal tells us a lot about his priorities as commander-in-chief. White House correspondent Jennifer Wishon shows us what's in and what's out.
President Donald Trump's budget is the collection of his campaign promises translated into dollars and cents.
He comes out with a budget that does exactly that. And Washington goes apoplectic because they've very rarely seen a politician who comes to Washington and does exactly what he says he's going to do.
The $1.1 trillion spending plan includes big league winners, like the U.S. military, which gets a 10% boost, the Nuclear Security Administration, the Department of Homeland Security, and Veterans Affairs. There's $1.5 billion in the plan to start building a wall along America's southern border. Another campaign promise the White House Deputy Press Secretary tells CBN News that Trump intends to fulfill.
The president's made extremely clear from day one his priority is an America First budget, and we've got to put national security at the top and forefront of that.
The budget blueprint also includes some big league losers. That list is longer. The Environmental Protection Agency and State Department bear the bulk of the president's cuts, followed by agriculture, health and human services, commerce, education, housing and urban development, and the list goes on. Nearly 30% in cuts to the State Department includes a slashing of foreign aid, money the U.S. uses to help other countries economically. It's one of the cuts some top Republicans and faith leaders can't stomach. In a letter to congressional leaders, more than 100 evangelical and other faith leaders write, "As people of faith, we cannot turn our back on those in desperate need. With just 1% of our nation's budget, the international affairs budget has helped alleviate the suffering of millions."
Foreign aid is probably the single most wasteful spending item in the federal budget. We've spent tens of billions of dollars over the last 30 or 40 years, for example, on development aid to Africa. We all want to help people that are poor or hungry in Africa, but there's no evidence that any of those programs have worked.
President Trump's budget also completely cuts funding for the National Endowment for the Arts, along with the public broadcasting system and National Public Radio, something many Republicans have been pushing for years.
I put myself in the shoes of that steel worker in Ohio, the coal mining family in West Virginia, the mother of two in Detroit, and I'm saying, okay, I have to go ask these folks for money, and I have to tell them where I'm going to spend it. Can I really go to those folks, look them in the eye, and say, look, I want to take money from you, and I want to give it to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting? That is a really hard sell. In fact, it's something we don't think we can defend anymore.
Mulvaney calls it a hard power budget designed to send a message to America's allies and enemies. All of these budget decisions come from the discretionary part of government spending. The administration will likely talk more about the real budget busters, Social Security and Medicare, in the future. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, the White House.
The IRS has given fast-track approval for after-school Satan clubs. The federal tax agency took only 10 days to grant tax-exempt status for the clubs. Judicial Watch obtained the records. It is unclear why the IRS gave the Satan clubs such special treatment when it stonewalled dozens of conservative groups for years under President Obama. Meanwhile, the Satanic Temple has announced it plans to target any schools that have a, quote, good news club, launching its Satan clubs there to counteract the Christian clubs. Coming up, from a church to a condominium, see a new trend in our nation's capital that has one developer transforming old churches into new homes. A Washington, D.C. developer's prayers are being answered. He is transforming historic churches into condominiums. CBN's Ben Kennedy takes us inside the one-of-a-kind apartments in the heart of our nation's capital.
It's the latest trend on Capitol Hill, turning churches into condos.
Being in this room, you feel like you're in a church.
Yeah, it's comforting, it's welcoming, it's cozy. It feels, not to be too trite, like a sanctuary from the city.
As a matter of fact, that's the new name for this complex, The Sanctuary, a 19th century Gothic revival church whose congregation outgrew the building and sold the property to the Rubin Group, a real estate development company that transformed the church into 26 condos. Odds are your family and friends won't have a hard time finding the place. Tell them to look for the Big Red Church on the corner of 9th and D Street Northeast.
This is a local landmark, and it's hard to miss the exterior of this building.
Built in 1897, the historic church has been integrated with a modern design, paying homage to a bygone era.
Really, the biggest challenge was the windows, but it also became the biggest asset.
That asset features towering stained glass windows that were taken apart and restored by hand. In one unit, hanging 15 feet in the air, is the original chandelier.
It's 120 years old, and it actually was here when the original church opened and started life as a gas chandelier.
And one of the coolest spots is by far the bell tower. To get up there, you have to walk up 5 flights of stairs. It is a workout. The tower is actually 80 feet tall, and once you turn the corner and arrive at the top, wow, it is a 360-degree view of downtown D.C. In fact, you can see Capitol Hill from this window.
It was difficult leaving, although, we were going to relocate to a much nicer area.
Reverend John McCoy, pastor at the Word of God Baptist, sold his church of 30 years, which, like the sanctuary, is now in the process of being turned into condos.
They no longer had enough space for their congregation to meet. They no longer had enough space for their congregation to come. And so they had to move.
I think we probably looked at 30, 40 properties, and none of them would fit. My wife had initially said that she saw in her dream our new location. And so therefore, every location that we would go by to look at, she said, that's not what I saw, that's not what I saw. And the moment we pulled up in front of this building, even before we got out of our car, she said, that's what I saw in my dream. Yeah.
So this was kind of a calling.
Yes, yes.
It's a similar story for many churches put on the market. But in some cases, developers are now moving in and turning churches into a place where you can live on a prayer.
And it's really a great story of growth in ministry.
And I didn't know how God was going to do it, but he did. And so therefore, this is an answered prayer.
Ben Kennedy, CBN News, Washington.
Up next, looked like Brexit was only the beginning. The European Union may soon be in bigger trouble, thanks in part to the election of President Donald Trump. Find out why. Dutch populist Geert Wilders failed in his bid to become prime minister in the Netherlands election Wednesday. Wilders supported pulling out of the European Union, and he was against Islamic immigration from Africa and the Middle East. Wilders' defeat was a victory for the European establishment, but this could still be a bad year for the EU. Dale Hurd brings us the story.
Now that the British Parliament has cleared the way for Brexit, London is expected to officially inform the European Union that it's over. They're leaving. And the next blow to the EU could come if French voters send Marine Le Pen of the right-wing National Front to the second round of a presidential election after her vow to take France out of the EU. It was once unthinkable that the leader of the right-wing National Front could ever be elected president of France. It was once unthinkable that France, a founding member of the European Union, would ever leave. Not anymore.
Why is the EU scared? It's because the European Union knows that the European people hate it. That's clear. Each time a referendum has been organized in the past years in relations with the EU, it has been lost by the EU.
And across the water, there is a new American president who the European Union has branded a threat. What some are calling the Trump effect has given a boost to Europe's outsiders.
The Trump effect in Europe is a feeling among the outsiders who have been locked out of the political mainstream for so long that if Donald Trump did it, they can too.
Trump is a winner. We are winners. We are beginning in new times, a new period, and we're going to fight against this old system, the old corrupt establishment.
They are Europe's deplorables. They have been branded extremist, racist, and Nazis. For decades, European leaders and the media, most of them left-wing by American standards, made sure that Europe's deplorables stayed marginalized and stigmatized. Some lost their jobs. Dutch journalist and university lecturer Chris Alberts, who is not a supporter of Geert Wilders, told us that the Dutch establishment dislikes Wilders so much that if he were to join Wilders' party and run for office, it might give him problems at work.
But it is certainly something that would raise eyebrows, and it would lead to a certain stigma of, okay, well, can we trust this man?
But the tables are turning on the European establishment. The discontent and anger over the way Europe has been mismanaged can no longer be contained. In Paris, journalist Anne-Elisabeth Moutet blames it all on the bureaucrats in Brussels.
There's a feeling of loss of sovereignty. There's a feeling of lack of transparency. And instead of addressing this like a real political problem, because as we know in politics, perception is reality, the leaders in Brussels say, no, you don't understand, come back when you've understood, go study some more. And that is about the worst way to go about it. You do not tell to people who ultimately are your voters, you don't tell them, if you don't like us, it's your fault and you're wrong.
Now Marine Le Pen stands poised for victory in the first round. And while the conventional wisdom is that she cannot win the second round, Europeans also know how wrong the conventional wisdom was about Donald Trump. Le Pen has already drafted a plan to relaunch the French franc and dump the euro. And some think a Frexit, or French exit from the European Union, would all but seal its fate.
It's a very interesting thing. Possibly if she wins, the French would decide that that's enough change for a bit and they don't want to leave Europe. Or you could also argue that there's a momentum to any victory.
Next week will mark the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Rome, which was the beginning of what would become the European Union. Some will be tempted to wonder how many more years the European Union has before it's over. Dale Hurd, CBN News, in Paris and The Hague, Netherlands.
You may remember the expression, all the tea in China. Well, that is because tea has a long history in the country. But lately, more and more Chinese people are turning to a different drink, coffee. And it looks like it could take the nation by storm. Gary Lane has that story.
Tea is steeped in the culture of many Asian countries, especially like China. For more than 5,000 years, generation after generation, tea has been an important part of Chinese tradition. Today in big cities such as Beijing and Shanghai, coffee shops can now be seen on nearly every major street corner. These shops are not just selling drinks. For many Chinese millennials, socializing on coffee shop couches is a new way to enjoy life.
I normally stay at the coffee shop. While I drink coffee, I enjoy the quietness here. It's a good way to take a break from all the noises. I can read my book without interruption.
Many young Chinese people drink coffee socially, when meeting with friends. In fact, many foreign coffee companies have already figured out creative ways to attract more Chinese consumers. The shops are uniquely designed, combining coffee with traditional Chinese cultural decor. In 2010, Starbucks dominated Chinese coffee sales with a 66% market share. According to one report, people in China drank roughly 45,000 tons of coffee in 2006. Some analysts predict the number could reach 300,000 tons annually by 2020. Coffee is still a relatively new beverage of choice for China's tea-drinking population. Sweet, milky coffee drinks like mocha and lattes are the most popular. Local coffee shop owners say, while young people enjoy the aroma and flavor of coffee, they also know it has health benefits.
Younger coffee drinkers today know a lot more about coffee. It looks like Chinese medicines are facing challenges from the Western drinks.
Older Chinese and herbal medicine practitioners find the new coffee trend hard to accept.
Chinese acupuncture and tea have a longer history than coffee. You will never see a Chinese hospital using coffee to cure their patients. Those traditions are irreplaceable. Coffee is just a new drink. Even though we have many coffee shops, coffee is still foreign to us today. Our tea tradition is an important value of the Chinese people. Foreign culture will never understand this important concept.
Most of the coffee consumed in China comes from South and Central American countries. However, this may change. Some coffee producers in southern China will soon be growing their own high-quality beans. Still to be seen is if coffee-drinking millennials will transform this deep-rooted tea-drinking country into one of the world's largest coffee-consuming nations. Gary Lane, CBN News.
You can have your tea and your coffee, too. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Are you looking for good entertainment this weekend? Wondering what you should or shouldn't see? We've got your family-friendly movie reviews right here. Our friends at Plugged In Online bring us this review of the new film, Beauty and the Beast. Take a look.
Bonjour. 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 There goes the baker with his tray like waves.
The movie Beauty and the Beast tells the fantasy tale of a young woman named Belle. She's a bright and compassionate gal who realizes that something dire must have happened to her sweet but absent-minded father when his horse returns home without him. After coaxing the horse to carry her back to her dad, she finds him sick in a frozen cell in a forgotten old castle. But worse, the dear old man is being held there by the castle's surly owner.
Who's there?
Do you wish to take your father's place?
Come into the light.
a raging beast who was once cursed by an enchantress. And the only way Belle can set her papa free is if she agrees to take his place.
What if she is the one who'll break the spell?
You probably already know this story. And this live-action version of Disney's 1991 classic animated musical is a thing of sumptuous beauty all on its own. It talks of self-sacrifice and looking for good beyond a rough exterior. But you've probably also heard that the film's director stated that this pick features Disney's first quote-unquote gay moment. And indeed, there are some mild but unfortunate elements included here that are being used to make an activist statement. They might require some parental explanation at the very least. Sadly, because of all this, I can only give Beauty and the Beast a mere 2.5 rose petals out of 5 for family friendliness. For an in-depth review of this film, or really anything else at your local box office, be sure to check out PluggedIn.com. Plugging you into the movies, I'm Bob Waliszewski for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
Well, it's time now for your Friday Faithful, and today I want to leave you with this thought. As believers, we often say we have the mind of Christ, but the question is, how often are you truly using it? His mind is full of faith and has no fear. His mind is full of love and patience as well as understanding. Walk in those as you end your week and begin your weekend. And be sure to make this a fabulous Friday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. We thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about all the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you right back here, same time and same place, come Monday. Goodbye and God bless.